Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have here another 10 pens currently inked for this week. I think let's go through these briefly one by one. We'll go through them in a little bit more detail and then we'll do a writing sample. So from left to right we have the Onoto, University of Oxford. We have a Montblanc and this is Around the World in 80 Days special edition. We have a Montblanc Writer's Edition and this is the Jane Austen. We have a Visconti Empire. We have an Onoto, the Flying Scotsman. And I think they now call this the Apple Green. We have a Onoto, and this is a Rosetta Stone. We have an Onoto, and this isn't a sterling silver. An Onoto, and this is the Great Court Vitreous in sterling silver and enamel. We have a Onoto, and this is the Coronation in sterling silver. We have a Montblanc Writer's Edition Robert Louis Stevenson, and we have a Majohn Titanium TI 136. So I think let's take a look at these pens inked up in a little more detail. So this is the Onoto University, and I say university, it's the Onoto University of Oxford, which you can see the coin finial there. It's a really beautiful pen. I always wanted the black and gold pinstripe version. This is the dark blue and gold. The black and gold was the Shakespeare, which is long sold out. I think it was only about 80 or 88 limited edition run. I wish it was a lot more. I wish I could have picked that one up. Maybe I'll be lucky and pick one up at some point on the second-hand market. But until that time, I've got this one, which I'm really loving. And if I unscrew the cap, you'll see a number 7 size Onoto 18 karat gold medium nib. These are cartridge converter pens, and I can show you that here. I've got that inked up today, and I can also show you in the size of my hand. It's a fairly decent size. I can, if I want to, post that cap, and it does post deeply and securely, so that is a good thing there. But these are just nice pens. So I have that one inked up with me today and this week. I've had that inked up for a few weeks now, and I'm loving writing with it. The next one I'm also loving writing with is this one, and this is a much, much heavier pen. I want to say that this has a brass body with wood over the top of it. I don't know for sure, but this is the Montblanc Around the World in 80 Days. You can see the Montblanc snow cap there on the cap finial. It's a very hefty pen. It's about 70, I think 70, probably 70-ish, 75 grams in weight. And that's a total pen. You do have a gold plaque there with the elephant on it engraved. I do wonder if that plaque is glued on or if it might come off over time. I don't know. It definitely stands proud. So it's just something I'm a little bit careful on, just in case. I've got a number 6 size Montblanc nib there. It's a medium nib. These are piston filling pens, the Montblancs. This isn't a writer's edition. I was going to say writer's editions are, but it's very close to a writer's edition. It's a 146 size, although to be honest, it actually feels more like a 149 with a number 6 size nib. But these are very comfortable in your hand. But like the writer's editions, you cannot post the cap. It's not designed to be posted. I don't know why Montblanc are doing that with a lot of their pens nowadays, because I know there is a good market of people that want to be able to post their caps on their pens. I think partly is that these caps are very weighty, so you're going to off-balance the pen and it's not going to be a good writing experience. That said, I still don't know why. I don't know the exact figures, but I'm guessing that it's a good, probably 30, maybe 40% of people that like to post their caps. So it just seems weird that Montblanc are creating a whole lot of pens that you cannot post caps on, but I guess it's because that's what they want to do at the end of the day. The next pen inked up is the Montblanc Writer's Edition Jane Austen, and you can see there it says by a lady on that cap finial. You've got a raised snow cap there as well. You've got a drawstring gold clip, which is functional. It's quite stiff, and that really is to sort of reminiscent of the what the ladies of the era used to carry. They used to carry a drawstring bag. They would put a handkerchief in there, or they'd also put maybe a puff box or a powder box in there as well. And then the gents of the era were having these sort of coats or waistcoats where they were sort of like stepped down here as well. It's a beautiful pen. I love it a lot. It's got Jane Austen's silhouette on that nib. It does have a huge step down though there. So if you are someone that wants to hold the pen up higher, then you're going to feel that. And also you can feel the threads. I'm personally a person that will grip the pen lower on the section or mid-section. So I don't feel that at all. I don't feel the threads. I don't feel the step down. But I can understand some would. Being a writer's edition, again, you cannot post a cap on this. It's not designed to be posted, which is a shame. But obviously Montblanc probably have their reasons. Maybe they don't even think about it. I don't know. I've not asked Montblanc. I've not reached out to them. But it just does seem a little bit weird that you cannot post those caps. The next pen inked up is this one. It's a Visconti Empire. And you can see there the coin finial there on the cap. You've got this good work of art here on the clip as well. And then you've got this filigree or overlay here, which is vermeil, so it's gold plated over sterling silver. Very, very nice pen. It's an older Visconti. It's got the older 18 karat gold fine nib there from Visconti. But it's a decent size in my hand. You've got a slight concave on the section. It is a power vac filling pen. You can post the cap as well, and it's not back weighted. So it really is a comfortable pen to write with. Very glad that I managed to add that this year into my collection, and I'm sure I'm going to enjoy this for quite some time, that pen. The next pen inked up is the Onoto, and it is the, I'll show you here, the Flying Scotsman, 1923 to 2023. So it is a centenary, 100 years. You can see the cap finial there. The clip looks a little bit strange, but this is what you would see on the train I think on the wheels actually. So this is an interesting themed pen by Onoto. I've got a number 7 size Onoto nib. It's a steel nib on this one, but it's a broad nib. It is a cartridge converter pen. It is almost out of ink, so I will have to ink that one back up again because I do like writing with it. It is a decent size in my hand. It is a long pen. You can't post the cap. It's not designed to do so. I did wonder at one point whether or not there might be some threads that they could put on here and allow you to screw that onto the pen, but I think that would take quite a lot more extra work, and you can see there the end cap there as well. It's a really nice themed pen. I kind of want a blue Onoto, and I might have picked one up. Let's just say I'm not going to say any more than that, but I do like certainly the green Flying Scotsman, and I do like the blue Flying Scotsman as well. The black one I can pass on, and I don't need to complete a set, but the blue one is quite a nice blue. The next pen inked up is the Onoto Rosetta Stone, which I had inked up last week. You got some. This is all sterling silver, but this is a sort of an aged look with deep engraving of the hieroglyphs here, and you've got it in 3 languages. You've got this one here, you got another one, and then you got another one down here. Beautiful pen. Really love this pen a lot. I've got an Onoto number 7 size 18 karat gold fine nib on this one. You can't post the cap on this one. It is a cartridge converter as well, so you have to bear that one in mind. But because I got a fine nib on there, it actually, I don't run out of ink that quick on this pen, which is good. So I do get to write with that pen a little bit more than maybe I would like. And then the next pen, which I've not written with for some time, is the Onoto Great Court Vitreous. This, you'll see here, you've got a cap finial, you've got the sterling silver vermeil clip there from Onoto, and then you've got this beautiful enamel going on here on the pen. It's smooth to the touch, it's glass-like smooth. Very, very nice pen. I really, really do like this pen. This was a pen that I also picked up from Roy at Izod's along with the Rosetta Stone. I was just lucky at the time. I've got a number 7 size Onoto 18 karat gold fine nib in here, and I think yeah, it is still got a lot of ink in there. So I do like this a lot. Again, you can't post that cap on this one, but it's a beautiful pen, not a cheap pen. The Onoto sterling silver pens, if you go to the Onoto website, you'll see they are not cheap pens. They are not for the faint-hearted, but I did get a very good deal on these 2 pens from Roy at Izod's because they were second-hand. They weren't, I want to say, I think one of them wasn't inked. I think the other one had been inked. I think the blue one had been inked, but the Rosetta Stone hadn't. The next pen inked up is the Onoto Coronation that I actually bought direct from Onoto. And you can see the Coronation coin finial there. Again, you've got the sterling silver vermeil clip. You've got this beautiful engraving around the whole of that cap there. A huge amount of work that went into that, and also the body as well. It really is a stunning pen, and again, full sterling silver. I've got an Onoto number 7 size 18 karat gold. I've got a medium nib on this one. I was liking the fine nibs on these, but I just hampered for a medium nib, and I decided to get one. This did come with a plunger filler. Actually, I think I got it upgraded for free actually to the plunger filler, but I've since put a cartridge converter in there. I am loving how this writes. This one, the end cap here does taper down better, so you can post that cap if you want to. It's sterling silver. I typically try not to post these because you're going to get micro scratches on that end cap. Or blind cap there, so I think it's better to not post the cap if you can avoid it. The next pen inked up is this one, and it's a Montblanc Writer's Edition, and it's a Robert Louis Stevenson pirate themed skull and crossbones there from Treasure Island. You've got, I think, the peg leg, you've got a compass, you've got X's that mark the spot, but then you have a big X here to mark where the treasure is, and you have got a telescope there on the end. Very, very beautiful pen. I love it a lot. Number 6 size 18 karat gold medium nib there. Like all Montblanc Writer's Editions, it's a piston filling pen, and like most of them, you cannot post the cap either. So if you are a cap poster, you just need to be aware of that. But it is a lovely pen, and that one's inked up again this week. And also this one as well. The Majohn Titanium TI-136, or Montblanc Martelet copy or clone It's got this hammered touch effect here with gold trim. Really liking it. This is in the matte edition. I think there is a glossy edition as well. You can also get a brushed titanium look, not hammered, which is a lot cheaper, at least half price, if not even more cheaper than that. But I like the hammered effect. I really do like this. It is a beautiful pen. I think I paid about £137 imported. You'll pay around about 120 to 130, or 140, 120 to 140 pound, euros, dollars on this pen. It did come. I ordered a medium nib. Apparently, Majohn don't do medium nibs. I've got other pens that apparently they do a medium nib on. But with this one, if you wanted a medium, it came with a lemon nib. And although it was supposed to be a long blade, it was more of a Fude that I ground down to an Architect or long blade, proper long blade. You do have an ink window in here as well. You can post the cap onto the back, but it does grip onto that piston, so just need to be a bit careful when you twist it or remove it, that you are not going to be taking it off at an angle and maybe damaging that piston knob there. So there you have it. That's my currently inked pens for this week. I think let's now go and do a writing sample. So the first pen inked up this week is the Onoto, and this is the University of Oxford. So I think we'll do an ink swatch first. And this is a very light ink, but it goes on light and then dries maybe 1 or 2 shades darker. So this is the Onoto University of Oxford. It's a medium and it's an 18 karat gold nib. And the ink in here is Lamy Mango, which is a very nice mango coloured ink. Very similar to a lot of apricot coloured inks as well, but that is quite a favourite of mine at the moment. The next pen inked up is the Montblanc Around the World in 80 Days. So we'll do an ink swatch. Now this is a slightly darker ink, more of an orange ink, although to be honest the mango is still fairly orangey. So this is Montblanc, and it's Around the World in 80 Days, and it's a medium and it's an 18 karat gold nib. And the ink in here is Sailor, Gentle, and it is Kin Makusai, which is a nice, a very punchy orange ink. The next pen inked up is the Montblanc Writer's Edition Jane Austen. So we'll do an ink swatch. And you can see there that is a nice ink. This is the Montblanc Writer's Edition Jane Austen, and it's a medium and it's an 18 karat gold nib. And then the ink in here is Pilot Eroshizuku Aji Sei, which is a very nice coloured ink. The next pen inked up is the Visconti Empire. So we'll do an ink swatch. And you can see there again, this is a very nice writing nib. So this is the Visconti Empire, and it's a fine and it's an 18 karat gold nib. And the ink in here is Waterman, Inspired Blue, which again is a very nice ink. It's a turquoisey blue coloured ink. The next pen inked up is the Onoto, and it's a Flying Scotsman. So I will ink this back up. It's running on fumes at the moment. I'm hoping it's enough just to get me through, because I really would like to just like flush it out and then re-ink it up after that. So this is the Onoto Flying Scotsman, and it's a broad and it's a steel nib, and the ink in here is Diamine Meadow, which I do think is a very nice match for that colour in pen. The next pen inked up is the Onoto Rosetta Stone. So we'll do an ink swatch here. Now this is a finer nib, quite a finer nib. It is a fine, but it's a lot finer than the broad. So this is the Onoto Rosetta Stone, and it's a fine, and it's an 18 karat gold nib. I don't think I'd ever want to go finer than a fine nib. Onoto don't do anything finer, thankfully, at the moment. At least for me, anyway. And the ink in here is Diamine Earl Grey. But I do know quite a few of you do like extra fine nibs, because you've told me in the comments. So, but I do find that those fine nibs are a pretty good nib width. The next pen inked up is the Onoto Great Court Vitreous. So we'll do an ink swatch here, and this is again a really good writing nib. Now this is a fine nib as well, actually. So this is the Onoto Great Court Vitreous. It's the British Museum, and it's a fine, and it's an 18 karat gold nib. But I would say that that is writing a little bit more closer to a medium. And then the ink in here is Venustus Aqua di Spargi, which is another turquoisey blue ink that I like, or maybe a Mediterranean blue, but it's a rather nice coloured ink. The next pen inked up is the Onoto, and this is the Coronation in sterling silver. We'll do another ink swatch here, and this is a medium nib, and you might be fooled, but this is exactly the same coloured ink. So this is the Onoto Coronation in sterling silver with a medium 18 karat gold nib. And the ink in here again is Venustus Aqua di Spargi. But you can see how much wetter that medium nib writes. The next pen inked up is the Montblanc Writer's Edition Robert Louis Stevenson. So we'll do an ink swatch here as well. And this again is a nib that writes really well. So this is the Montblanc. I'm going to abbreviate it just to Robert Louis Stevenson because I won't fit it on otherwise. So Robert Louis Stevenson. And it's a medium, and it's an 18 karat gold nib. Yeah, I told you I wouldn't put it on if I had put Writer's Edition. And then the ink in here is Diamine Graphite, which is almost a black ink. But being a black pen, I think that this matches quite nicely. And then, last but not least, we have the Majohn Titanium TI-136. So we're doing ink swatch again. And I really do like how this nib writes. I think this would be a good nib now to be able to use as a signature signing nib. So this is the Majohn, and it's a titanium TI-136 in a medium steel nib, and the ink in here is Diamine Earl Grey. But that is a very nice smooth nib. Like it a lot, and it's also very wet writer as well. So I think let's take a look at these pens inked up one more time. We have an Onoto University of Oxford in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Lamy Mango. We have a Montblanc Around the World in 80 Days in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Sailor Gentle Kinmakusai. We have a Montblanc Writer's Edition Jane Austen in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Pilot Washizuku Ajise. We have a Visconti Empire in a fine 18 karat gold nib inked up with Waterman Inspired Blue. We have an Onoto Flying Scotsman in a broad steel nib inked up with Diamine Meadow. We have an Onoto Rosetta Stone in a fine 18 karat gold nib inked up with Diamine Earl Grey. We have an Onoto Great Court Vitreous in a fine 18 karat gold nib inked up with Venustus Aqua di Spargi. We have an Onoto Coronation in sterling silver in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Venustus Aqua di Spargi. But you can see certainly a difference in the writing sample there, if not the ink swatch as well. We have a Montblanc Writer's Edition Robert Louis Stevenson in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Diamine Graphite. And we have a Majohn Titanium TI-136 in a medium steel nib inked up with Diamine Earl Grey. So there you have it. That's my currently inked pens for this week. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.